Welcome to Modern Spiritual Interpretations. And today, I feel that it is very, very important for everyone to understand this one word which is very, very essential in our lives, which is called refuge. Refuge, refuge. If you Google the meaning up, it shows the state of being safe or sheltered from pursuit, danger, or difficulty. The state of being safe or sheltered from pursuit, danger, or difficulty. Now, obviously, the meaning of this refuge is physical in nature. The state of being safe from, say, another human attacking you, a bomb or a gun or something like that, or being sheltered from pursuit or danger. But most of us are fortunate enough to not be in such a physical state of danger or difficulty where we have to be very we have to think all the time before going out on the street if we'll be killed or not, where even just sitting in our homes we are always scared that maybe a bomb might drop in from the window and kill all of us, or when our family goes out we are not scared that they might be pursued and killed by terrorists. So this is a huge amount of fortune that we have on a day-to-day basis. But again, if we look at the past, there have been millions and millions of people who didn't have this fortune. They were always fighting for their life, for their physical survival. I'm not even talking about spiritual process. We have not even reached there. We are just talking about the physical survival of this body first. So, as 21st century human beings, and to the people who are listening this, it is a huge privilege that we are safe, that we have physical refuge in the form of our homes and families and stuff like that. This human tendency of life within us forces us to try and go beyond, to get more, to find more in life. And that is where the beginning of the materialistic world began, where people began to find refuge in malls, cinema halls, sports, bars, restaurants. This is higher living. This stage comes after the physical refuge has been secured. Parks, going out for the walk on the street while listening to music carefree. These are all higher expressions of materialism, where human beings have physically had their refuge, but now it is time that they are beginning to expand their minds, where the mind has begun tasting different kinds of things, where people can now focus their energy on developing the mind. But now, after say decades and decades of industrial revolution and so much of technological advancement, that right now we are able to speak to anyone in any part of the world in real time, face to face. Absolutely. I mean, it's something which could conceptually be imagined as being impossible even 50 years back, but today it's absolutely possible. And with each and every passing day there is crazy amount of technology that is coming out, and who knows in the next 20 years what might happen. Maybe we won't even have such a big phone, maybe it'll be something else altogether. Now this has led to this real problem of not finding the inner refuge, because as we can see on the outside we have refuge which is absolutely secured, and even technology is a sort of a refuge, that you can just sit in your room without even having a bath and not being conscious about it, but still talk to dozens and dozens of people. It doesn't matter because we are under the refuge of technology. Today, if you have to attend a meeting, you don't have to really, go through the hard sun, or if it's raining like crazy, you don't have to go through that. You don't even have to wear your pants to attend a meeting these days. So this is the refuge of technology, that it has given us this convenience, this shelter, this feeling of safety, of dependence. That is why now it is very important that we take the next step of finding a refuge in something which is far beyond us. Something which has worked for thousands of people, firstly. And secondly, if you apply it even on a short-term basis, it should yield results for you. If it's not yielding results for you, I would say don't do it. Just like If a phone is a failure, if the processor doesn't work properly, if the memory is too less, or the Android doesn't get updated from time to time, it's a bogus phone and we just throw it off and get something else which is hopefully much better. It's the same thing with the inner technologies and inner processes as well. So Gautam Buddha says that this inner refuge can be sought in three places. Because our inner world in itself is so huge, and the potential to get lost is so huge, because people are always changing. Today you see your partner in one way, they're happy, something good has happened in their life and they are functioning one way. But in a matter of just a year or two, you can just compare and see how different they are, how much they have changed as people. And it's so funny, but it's the truth, that if you ask them, they would say the same thing for you, and the third person would say the same thing about the first person, and this thing goes on and on. We are always trying to find that constant, that refuge, but we don't get it. We are trying to find it in people, in relationship, in friends, in food, in eating, in drinking, in sports, in money, in power, in fame, and so many things. But again, we don't get it. We get a taste of it, but we don't get it. So Buddha says that these three things are the only refuge for the inner world, which is number one, seeking refuge in the Buddha, number two, seeking refuge in the Dharma, and number three, seeking refuge in Sangha, or the constant awareness of interdependence. So if I go a little bit, I'll just take you through the summary of all the three refuges. The first one is the Buddha, which is the teachings of the Buddha. As we know, there are over 150 or 200 volumes of teachings of Buddha, and there has been a certain lineage of Buddhists who have been following it for more than 2000 years. So this is one refuge, to seek refuge in the teachings of the Buddha, in what the Buddha has said. But again, I would say that you listen to the teaching and you only apply it with a heart, open heart. But you don't have to blindly believe it. And secondly, seeking refuge in the Dharma. By Dharma, Buddha here means the law or the order or the code of conduct, that every day, 24/7, we are taking action, from the time of getting out of our bed to brushing our teeth to using the bathroom to getting out, to everything. 24/7 action. Something is being done. Some sort of movement of our body or senses or outside things is continuously happening. So we need a principle. We need a code of conduct. Just like when you go to your job and you're sitting at the reception or something, you have been taught a certain way to talk to people. When certain situations arise, what to do, what not to do, when to call the manager, when to contact your higher authorities, or dealing with certain types of customers or certain types of people in a certain way. So this is a code of conduct, but that's unfortunately only for your job, and that's not based on how the truth of nature works. That is just based on how to improve the working environment so that the economy can be better, people can be happy, the company can work properly. And the third refuge is Sangham, which is the constant awareness of interdependence between man and nature, between what is you and what you do not think is you. The Sangham is the constant meditation on that, because we obviously in our egos we tend to think that I am something different and that person is something different. This sense of separation from everyone, because you see, when you become a very loving person and things are going on well with your life, you would just feel like including everyone, even the pettiest of person. You feel sympathy towards them. So the more you get conscious, the more you actually are rich within yourself, in your inner world, the more refuge you have. See, it's just like, if you are in a safe house and you see other people on the street who are about to get bombed, but somehow you get the chance and then you just allow them into the safe house, because you are safe and you want them to feel safe, and there's enough space for everyone. So these are the three refuges which Buddha has offered to the people, and if a person meditates and goes deeply into it, a person can completely transform his or her life to limits where it was not even conceivable that such a thing was possible for me, that such a thing ever exists. Because in our daily lives, all the time, we are in that limited time frame. We are in that limited frame of dreams. Even our dreams are very, very limited. You might think you want to be the president of the world, but then it's a very limited dream. No matter what you dream, it's very small as compared to what existence has in offer to you. But then this is the hard part, that you give up your own thinking of my dream or my goal or my life's purpose should be like this, and just wait. And just wait in that refuge, and then something will happen. But humans these days, and all the unconscious, unspiritual, and people who haven't had any sort of realization, true wisdom and realization within them, they will go out on the street. They will try and find out what's going on, who's trying to bomb, what's the scene, what are other people doing. And in that process, ultimately goes through what is called the ups and downs of life and seeking happiness and stuff like that. So these are the 3 refuges of Buddha. Thank you.